Hi dears, good morning. Welcome back to our physics class. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about electric motors. Okay, so what are electric motors? What do you mean by electric motors? You all know our electrical appliances like fan, motor, that means our pumping motor and fans, AC, refrigerator, mixer, painter, like that, like all that things. They contain electric motors, right? That means the electric motor is a device that converts electrical energy into mechanical energy, right? That means all these devices utilize electrical energy for their working, right? Electrical energy നൽകി നമ്മൾ when we switch on our fan, what happens? The fan will rotate, right? Only after switching on, right? നമ്മൾ സ്വിച്ച് ഓൺ ചെയ്തതിന് ശേഷം മാത്രമാണ് നമ്മൾ ഫാൻ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ തുടങ്ങുന്നത്. So what happens inside that fan? Inside that fan we have electric motors. That electric motors use this electrical energy for the working of this fan, right? Okay, so here we are going to discuss, or we are going to find out how this electric motor works. Okay, so here I drawn a symbol, basic structure of an electric motor. Okay, so this is the basic structure of an electric motor. So we can see what are the components of an electric motor, right? So before that, you just read your textbook, that is what is an electric motor. That means an electric motor is a rotating device. It is a rotating device that converts electrical energy to mechanical energy, right? And electrical motors is used as an important component in electrical fans, refrigerators, mixers, washing machine, computer, MP3 players, and etc., right? Okay, so these are the devices that utilize this motor, electric motor, right? Okay, so we can find what are the components. The electric motor that consists of a magnetic field. That magnetic field is given by these electromagnets. In commercial purpose, we use electromagnet to produce strong magnetic field, right? So this is the magnetic field. That is, here we have a north pole and south pole, and we know whenever a current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, what happens? It experiences force, right? It should experience a force, and that force make them to move. Okay, so that is the basic principle behind this electric motor. Okay, so here we have an magnetic field that is produced by this north pole and south pole, and here we have a rectangular coil. Okay, so in commercial electric motors we use this as an armature. Armature means it is a soft iron core on which the coil is wound. A copper coil like that is. A coil is wound, and the soft iron core on which the coil is wound plus that coil together called as an armature, right? Okay, so here we have a simple rectangular coil. So instead of this single rectangular coil, we use in commercial motors to produce high mechanical energy, right? So we use armature. Okay, so this is armature, or we can say it's a rectangular coil. Okay, we have named it as A, B, C, D. Okay, so this rectangular coil then connected to two graphite brushes, right? So here we have two brushes. Okay, so that brushes again contact with the two split rings. Split ring means it's a ring, but it is splitted into two halves. Okay, so these graphite brushes are connected to split rings that are insulated split rings. That means they do not conduct. That means they are insulated split rings. Okay, So this one end of the rectangular coil is connected to this brush X, and another end of that rectangular coil is connected to this brush Y, and then these brushes are in turn connected to these split rings P and Q. Okay, and here we have a here we have an axle. That axle, what is the purpose of that axle? It is just for free to move. This rectangular coil has to be moved, right? So providing this axle provide the free rotation of this rectangular coil, or we can say armature. Okay, so these are the main components, and another thing, we have a circuit here, that is these graphite brushes in turn connected to a cell and a key. Okay, so when this key is closed, what happens? Current will flow through this circuit, and the current and reaches to this graphite brush. What is the purpose of using graphite brush? Instead of any metal brushes, we use graphite brushes, right? So because this graphite is a good conductor of electricity, and also it is a self-lubricating form of alloy, or form of carbon, right? Carbon ഒരു allotrope ആണ് ഈ ഗ്രാഫൈറ്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്, right? So graphite ഒരു good conductor ആണ്. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ whenever these split rings rotate, there is a chance of getting sparks ഉണ്ടാവാനുള്ള ചാൻസ് ഉണ്ട്. So to avoid that sparks, we use graphite. Metals ആണ് നമ്മൾ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ പെട്ടെന്ന് സ്പാർക്ക് ഉണ്ടാവും. Okay, so to avoid that sparks and the free flow or the smooth flow of electric current and the smooth rotation of this armature, we use graphite brushes. Okay, so that graphite along these graphite brushes, the current enter into this rectangular coil. Okay, so whenever this key is closed, then current is going like this. This is the direction of current, right? So whenever this key is closed, a current is going to this, and it reaches to the brush X, and again it goes like this, like this, like this. Okay, and in return the current returns to this end, negative end, right? That means the circuit is closed now. Okay, so whenever a current is passing through this coil, that is, the coil is placed inside a magnetic field, right? This north and south pole produce a strong magnetic field, right? So the direction of magnetic field is in this direction, right? From north poles to south pole. Okay, so this is the direction of magnetic field, and the side, this side AB. In this side AB, we have the direction of current like this, right? Okay, so here we have the direction of current like this, upward direction of current. Okay, so here we can use the Fleming's left hand rule to find out the direction of force that experienced by this rectangular coil, right? So here we know there should be a there is a magnetic field, and inside that magnetic field we place a rectangular coil, and that rectangular coil carries a current, right? So whenever a current carrying conductor is placed inside a magnetic field, it experiences a force, right? So in order to find out the direction of that force, we can use Fleming's left hand rule, right? What does it say? The Fleming's left hand rule says? If the magnetic field and the current are mutually perpendicular, the direction of magnetic field and current are mutually perpendicular, then the force experienced by that conductor also have a direction perpendicular to both of these magnetic field and the current, right? So if we take our left hand rule, that means we place our middle finger and point finger, thumb mutually perpendicular. Then what happens? This point finger represent the magnetic field, direction of magnetic field, and the middle finger represent the direction of current. Then we have The thumb represent the force, right? The direction of force. Okay, so here we can use this rule to find out the direction of force. Okay, so here we know the magnetic field is in this direction. That means perpendicular this direction. Okay, so we have to place this point finger in this direction, and direction of current is like this. So this is our direction of current, right? So if we, this is a three-dimensional, actually this is a three-dimensional picture, right? So you have to imagine that. To find out the direction of magnetic field, you have to imagine that the magnetic field is in this direction and current is in this direction, the upward direction, and the magnetic force should be in the downward direction. Okay, so here the magnetic force experienced by this side AB, the side of armature AB experiences a magnetic force that is downward in direction. Okay, so here it experiences downward direction, downward force. Okay, and then again the current passes through this and this side BC, the current enter into this side BC, and what happens there? Is there any force experienced by this side? No. Why? Because the magnetic field is in this direction and also current is in the same direction, right? So in order to find out the direction of magnetic force experienced by this side, we should have the magnetic force and the current should be in a perpendicular direction, right? They should be mutual. They should be having a mutual direction, right? But here both of them have same direction. So there should be no force experienced by this side BC. Okay. And again, then the current enter into the side CD. Okay. So here you can see the direction of current is in downward direction. The direction of current is downward direction. Okay, so here we have to find the direction of magnetic force by using Fleming's left hand rule. Okay, so here also the magnetic field is in this direction. That means is in this direction. And here we have current is in the downward direction, right? So what will be the direction of magnetic force? It should be in upward direction, right? Okay, so here a magnetic force experienced in the upward direction, right? Is it clear? Okay, so here the side CD experiences a magnetic force in the upward direction, and here the side AB experiences a downward magnetic force. So this downward magnetic force and upward magnetic force creates a movement in this rectangular coil. What will be the direction of that movement? That is, for example, you can see if this is the armature coil, right? This is the armature, and here you have the side AB and here you have the side DC, right? So in this side we can see this is a downward force. So it will move like this, right? It will move like this, and here a upward force acting on this side CD, right? So what happens? This will move like this, an upward motion, right? An upward motion, and here a downward motion. So what will be the resultant force, or what will be the resultant motion? That means that the armature coil move like this. That means it will rotate anti-clockwise. Okay. It will have an anti-clockwise rotation. Okay. So this armature coil is free to move. Okay. So this armature coil is free to move, and due to this force, that is AB experiences a downward force and also CD experiences a upward force. So this coil will rotate like this. That is an anti-clockwise rotation is experienced by this coil. Okay. So that is actually what happens, and at that time we can see half rotation. What happens when this coil rotates half? That means what happens? This CD become AB. That means we can we can draw here. That is, when an half rotation is completed, what happens? This side, that side AB, this AB side should become CD side. Okay, right? And what happens here? This will become AB. Okay, after half rotation, what happens? These sides will interchange. And what happens in these brushes and the split rings? Here we have the split rings P and Q, right? So after half rotation, this Q will be here and this P will be here. But the graphite brushes are fixed there. Okay, so there should be no change in that graphite brushes. That graphite brushes X and Y should be there, and they are connected to the cell. Okay, right? So after half rotation, this armature coil reverse, and here also the split rings are reversed, right? So due to this reversal, what happens? The current through this armature coil also reversed. Okay, that means the positive direction and positive and negative terminals are not changed, but here the split rings are changed. After half rotation, the split rings are changed and CD now experiences an upward current, and here AB experiences a downward current. That means the direction of current inside this coil, the direction of current inside this armature get reversed after half rotation. Okay, so what happens there? Then here CD experiences a downward force and AB experiences an upward force, right? So all these components are just like this, but the armature coil after half rotation get reversed, and also the split rings are get reversed. Due to that, the current inside this, the current passing through this armature means this circular rectangular coil, right? So the current experience or the current passing through this rectangular coil get reversed, right? That means this CD experiences a downward force and AB experiences an upward force. So here also there should be an anti-clockwise rotation happens. Okay, so this will continue. Whenever we close this key. This process will continue, and what happens there? The motor continuously rotating, right? Okay, so the coil will start rotating in the anti-clockwise direction, and that makes the motor rotating, and that rotating effect causes mechanical energy. That rotating effect gives mechanical energy. Okay, so by using this electrical energy, this motor will rotate, right? This motor will continuously rotate if this motor get continuous current, right? Okay, so this is the actual working of electric motors. Electric motors എങ്ങനെയാണ് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്നത്? കറണ്ട് ഇതിലെ കണ്ടിന്യൂസ് ആയിട്ട് കറണ്ടിന്റെ ഡയറക്ഷൻ, ഇവിടെ കറണ്ടിന്റെ ഡയറക്ഷൻ മാറുന്നില്ല. ദാറ്റ് മീൻസ് പോസിറ്റീവ് ആൻഡ് നെഗറ്റീവ് ടെർമിനൽ നമ്മൾ റീപ്ലേസ് ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല, ഇന്റർചേഞ്ച് ചെയ്യുന്നേ ഇല്ല, റൈറ്റ്? But here the split rings acts as a commutator. Commutator means commutator is a device. Here it is given that commutator is a device that reverses the direction of current flow through a circuit. Okay, so the current flow through this circuit, that means this rectangular coil, get reversed by the help of these split rings, right? So here the split ring act as a commutator. So ഈ സെൽസിന്റെ ടെർമിനൽസ് ചേഞ്ച് ചെയ്യാതെ തന്നെ നമുക്ക് ഈ സർക്യൂട്ടിലെ എന്ത് ചേഞ്ച് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും? കറണ്ടിന്റെ ഡയറക്ഷൻ ചേഞ്ച് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും ബൈ ദ ഹെൽപ്പ് ഓഫ് എ ഡിവൈസ് കാൾഡ് കമ്മ്യൂട്ടേറ്റർ. ഓക്കെ, സോ കമ്മ്യൂട്ടേറ്ററിന്റെ ഫംഗ്ഷൻ എന്താണ്? നമ്മൾ സെൽസിന്റെ ടെർമിനൽസ് ചേഞ്ച് ചെയ്യാതെ തന്നെ ഒരു സർക്യൂട്ടിലെ കറണ്ടിന്റെ ഡയറക്ഷൻ റിവേഴ്സ് ചെയ്യുക അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ചേഞ്ച് ചെയ്യിക്കുക, റൈറ്റ്? Okay, so here the split rings acts as a commutator that reverses the current, that reverses the direction of current within this armature. Okay, so the armature can rotate continuously. Okay, so that rotation provides mechanical energy. Is it clear? I think, is it clear? So now we can go through your textbooks. This is the working principle of an electric motor, and these are the components of an electric motor: magnetic field, and here we have a rectangular coil, and in commercial purpose we use what? Armature. Armature means it's a soft iron core wound by a coil, that is a soft iron core on which the coil is wound, and the iron core plus that coil is termed as armature, right? And within a commercial motor, we use, instead of this magnetic field, we use electromagnets, right? So that electromagnets provide high magnetic field, and also we can increase the number of turns on this rectangular coil. So that when we increase the number of turns, that also produce more strength to that effect, more strength to the motor. Okay, so that will produce more mechanical energy. Okay, so these are the major components: a cell, key, and graphite brushes, and we have a split ring, and this is the axle. This axle is only for free to rotate this rectangular coil, right? And these are conducting rectangular coil. But these are the major components of an electric motor, and whenever the current passing through this rectangular coil, what happens? It experiences a force. That force makes the coil to rotate in anti-clockwise direction, right? And these split rings get reversed when half rotation is complete, and that reversal will make a reversal of the current flowing through this circuit or this rectangular coil. That makes the continuous rotation of this armature. Okay, so we can go through your textbook, and here an electric motor as given in figure 13.15, and it consists of a rectangular coil ABCD of insulated copper wire, and the coil is placed between two poles of magnetic field, that is north and south pole. And then what happens? The field such that arm AB and CD are perpendicular to the direction of magnetic field. Okay, so the magnetic field is in this direction, and AB and CD are perpendicular to the direction of magnetic field, right? And then the end of the coil are connected to the two halves of P and Q of a split ring, right? So P and Q of a split ring, and the inner side of the halves are insulated and attached to an axle, and the external conducting edges of P and Q touch to the stationary brushes X and Y. So you should notice that stationary brushes X and Y. So the brushes should be stationary, right? Then only the current passing through this should same, right? ഈ X and Y brushes ഫിക്സ്ഡ് ആണെങ്കിൽ മാത്രമേ നമ്മൾ ഇതിലൂടെ പാസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന കറണ്ട് സെയിം ഡയറക്ഷനിലുള്ള കറണ്ട് ഈ സ്പ്ലിറ്റ് റിങ്സിൽ റീച്ച് ചെയ്യുള്ളൂ. ഓക്കെ, so the brushes should be stationary, and current in the coil ABCD enters from the source battery through conducting brushes X and flow back to the battery through brush Y. Okay, so these brushes X and Y are conducting. That means generally we use graphite brushes. Graphite is a good conductor, and also it avoid the sparks, right? And it's a self-lubricating material also. And then what happens there? Notice that the current in the arm AB of a coil flows from A to B, right? So the direction of current A to B, and in arm CD it flows from C to D. In arm CD it moves, the flow of current is from C to D, right? And thus it is opposite to the direction of current from AB. Okay, so the flow of current through this arm A and AB and CD are in opposite direction, right? And on applying Fleming's left hand rule, the direction of force on a current carrying conductor in magnetic field we can find, right? So arm AB experiences a downward magnetic force and an arm CD experiences an upward force, right? So that is, we find the force acting on arm AB pushes it downwards. So it pushes it downwards, the arm AB pushes downwards, and while the force acting on arm CD pushes it upwards. Thus the coil and the axle O mount free to run about an axis, rotate anti-clockwise, right? So the rectangular coil rotates anti-clockwise, and at half rotation Q makes contact with the brush X and P make the contact with the brush Y, right? Okay, so Q makes the contact with the X and P makes the contact with the Y after half rotation. Okay, so therefore the current in the coil gets reversed and flow of current through the circuit. Therefore the current in the coil gets reversed and the flow along the path DCBA, right? So DCBA, after half rotation the current flows from DCBA. Okay, a device that reverses the direction of flow of current through a circuit is called as commutator, and the reversal of current also reverses the direction of force acting on the arms AB and CD. Thus the arms AB of the coil that was earlier pushed downward is now pushed up, and CD previously pushed up is now pushed down, right? So here CD pushes downward and AB pushes upwards. Okay, and therefore the coil and the axle rotate half and turn more in the same direction. Okay, so the rotation now is also in the anti-clockwise direction, right? So it will makes a complete rotation. Okay, therefore the coil and axle rotate half a turn more in the same direction. The reverse of the current is repeated at each half rotation, giving rise continuous rotation of coil and the axle, right? So this axle and coil rotates continuously whenever this current reverses after half rotations, right? ഓരോ half rotation we current reverse ചെയ്യുന്നതിനനുസരിച്ച് ഈ ആക്സിലും അതുപോലെ ഈ ആക്സിലും അതുപോലെ തന്നെ അതുമായിട്ട് അറ്റാച്ച് ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ള ഈ റെക്ടാങ്കുലർ കോയിലും കണ്ടിന്യൂസ് റൊട്ടേഷനിൽ മൂവ് ചെയ്യും. ഓക്കെ, സോ ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ദ working principle of electric motors. And in commercial motors we use an electromagnetic in place of permanent magnet and a large number of turns of conducting coil and the axle, a large number of turns of the conducting wire in the current carrying coil, and a soft iron core on which the coil is wound. The soft iron core on which the coil is wound plus that coil is termed as armature, and this enhances the power of the motor. So in commercial purpose we have to increase the power of the motor, right? So we use what electromagnets instead of permanent magnet, and also we can increase the number of turns of this coil, and also we can use armature, right? Okay, so these are the basic principle of electric motor and how this electric motor works. Okay, so hope you clear how it works. And here you have three questions. You have given three questions. State Fleming's left hand rule, and what is the principle of electric motor, and what is the role of split ring in an electric motor. Okay, so I think all these questions you can write the answers easily, right? All these things we have discussed in this class, and also we have already discussed the Fleming's left hand rule in the previous classes, right? Okay, so you should write the answers of these questions, and you have to submit your notes in the coming days. Okay, so you should do this as an homework. Okay, so let us wind up today's class. Hope you understand the working principle of electric motor, and if you have any doubts you can ask me. Okay, so we can meet in the next class. Till then, take care and goodbye. Thank you.